I congratulate you and commend you on your bold initiative to improve the lives of the women.
Hi there, I'm Sweetie Abochi, and I love telling you stories about women trailblazers, women who are stepping into the arenas of power, women who are not afraid to lead a change, to change the narrative about where they've placed us in the society. Welcome to another episode of Women, Power and Politics. Today I'm privileged to be sitting with another trailblazer when we talk about our politics here in the country. She was the former Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, also former Member of Parliament for Aguna West. I'm sure by now you already know who we're talking about. In the lead up to election 2024, she was the first to contend with. Madam Cynthia Morrison, it's such a pleasure to sit with you this afternoon.
Nice to meet you too, my dear.
How are you doing?
Very good.
We missed you. After election 2024, looks like there was a bit of silence.
Yes, it is true that there's been some silence. I think this is the first time I'm doing a public, and it's taking you,
a long
time to pull me out, because a lot of people have said, I'm giving myself some break. But fortunately, I'm starting from today, because Monday I'll be on Oman FM and then it continues. Yeah.
Well, it's good to talk to you. I followed you for a while, since you were gender minister, and then I got into politics and started observing. Now I'm, hosting the AM show. So I knew you as a woman from afar, and then I got into it and I realized you're not just any woman, you're a fierce woman. So I want to get to know you up close. How would you describe yourself to someone who didn't know you?
My name is Cynthia Morrison, like you know. I'm a 61-year-old woman, 60 plus 1.
You don't look
and I'm counting on. I'm a mother of 7, and I have 6 grandchildren and counting. Because I'm looking up, I wish every one of my children would give me like 5 children, so that I can be a grandma and sit and, play with them.
That's pressure.
Oh, for me, taking care of children is not pressure.
Yeah.
I started taking care of children at the age of like 23. I set up my own school, like 25 thereabout. I ran my school.
Oh,
yes, so children are my hobby, and I still run my schools. So it's not one school, I still run my schools. And I'm thinking of a 3rd school. So with children, I never get tired.
You feel at home.
Yes.
So you mentioned you started your school at 25. I'm curious to know what your life was like, because 25 is a very young age, but you seem to have been established then. How was your childhood like?
Oh, my childhood, I grew up with my 3 siblings, 4 girls, and our mother.
Okay.
And it was a beautiful one, girls put together in one bedroom. At a point when we're like 21, 22, my younger sister and I, we decided we're not sleeping in the room with my big sister. So we moved to a corner somewhere, made our own room. It was beautiful, girls in the house. And I was like the boy among the girls, It was fun. Then, because I loved children, I one day went to a nursery school, and I think somehow I didn't like the way one teacher was treating the children, so I decided I'd run a school. As if I could take all the children, in Dansom another time. Okay. And so we started. Fortunately, there was this lady, Mrs. Bramlabi. She's like my big sister. Okay. She ran a nursery school, and my nieces were attending the school. But I liked her concept. So I decided this is what I want. So she was like my role model.
Was it a Montessori?
No, hers was not a Montessori. It was an early childhood school.
Okay.
So I started mine gradually in my mother's house. I used to save with my mother, and then when I get money, I go and buy a trip of sand, stones, and then I bought cement, and then she was saving my money. And at that time, it was difficult, for a young girl to say that I'm building.
Yeah.
And anytime I decided to do something, I didn't want to share the idea with anybody, because I got a few people who discouraged me that at your age, you're going to set up a school for what? Go and work for somebody. So what I did was that when I raised the money with my mother, then I go and buy the sand. And one trip of sand that I bought, I'm saying this to the young people, one trip of sand that I bought, assuming those days I bought for 10 cedis. Then somebody told me, if you hide a truck and you buy it from the site, you get it like 6 cedis. Instead, so I went to Malam Junction, hired a truck. We went to where at McCarthy Hill, somewhere down somewhere. We want to buy my first trip, and then when I came home, I told the man I want another trip, meaning I'm not paying the 10 cedis, I'm paying the 6 cedis. That was a smart move. So I started molding my blocks in the house. Then gradually I started building. Then I started, you know, so from my mother's house, I started gradually. Then fortunately I had a friend who also wanted to help me. Then my big sister, who was also a nursery teacher, she runs a school now, Reverend Pelpintel. She was my headmistress, and she helped me manage to run the school. And it was a beautiful, beautiful school.
You sound like nothing stops you. You sound like you don't even listen to criticism. You said you stopped telling your plans to people because they'll discourage you. That's a really rare skill for young people to have, because we like to share our ideas, you know. How did you come into that character?
You can share your ideas, but don't share your ideas with friends when they give you negative report. Once you pray about it and you are convinced that whatever you want to do is good for you, go ahead. Even if you fail, you'll try again. But if you let people discourage you, you cannot get on in life. So at that very early age, I decided that when I want to do something, sometimes I discuss with my mother. And even if my mother does not agree with me, and I go and pray about it and I'm convinced, I go ahead and I do.
So do you say you're a very intuitive person? You go with your guts?
Oh yes, with my intuition, I do that a lot. Even my husband will tell you, when I tell him, don't let us do this, and he says, oh, I think we should do it, most of the times it fails. So anytime I say something, he said, should we try it? I said, if you want to do it, let's go ahead and do it. But sometimes it works. I haven't said I'm a perfect person. Certain things will fail, but at least when you fail, you know that you did this and you failed. You try again, or you change your line of
we'll get to the point where you decided to enter politics, but I want to understand how men or, you know, patriarchy affected your life growing up, because we live in a society where everyone knows that women are put in a certain place and the men have free will to do whatever they want. But as a woman, you have to be quieter, you have to be calm, you have to sit well. Did you experience those? The pressure society puts on young girls to be perfect, to be looked at, to be everything that they put you in. How did you navigate those terrains?
Whilst we were growing, we used to do something, it's called Courtesy for Boys and Girls.
Yes.
We had to read those books. It's courtesy for boys and girls, not only for girls. And even in my home, you saw my son. I put him in the kitchen. I tell you, you have to know how to do this so that when you marry and your wife is also working, she wouldn't come home and cook for you while you sit in the hall. So you learn how to do. You learn how to wash. Even if your wife is pregnant or your wife is indisposed and she wants you to wash her undies, do that for her. I tell him, and that is my son.
Not so you didn't face any of these biases, and you can't do that because you're a girl. You can't do this.
I wasn't a tomboy. Okay. Even though I was tough, I wasn't a tomboy. You know, I behave like a lady, but I cannot let a man bully me, because you know my father left my mother, and she went through so much. So at a point I decided I won't let any man bully me. But growing up also, I said I'm a woman, so I have to behave like a woman. So I'm submissive to my partner. I do everything. I'm the best wife I know.
if
my husband steps in, when he steps in here, he will tell you. Just like a month ago, my birthday, I was amazed. He stood before everybody and was telling him how awesome. And he tells me every day. Even this morning, when he took his breakfast, he said, darling, thank you very much. Because now my friends see me and they say, oh, now we know that your wife is home, you know. It tells that when I'm not home, things are not, you know, the way it should be. But I know I am because my children tell me you're a good mother. My son tells me I want to marry a woman like you. So if your son tells you this, and they are the people that I have to prove myself to. So I don't hide. I am not a hypocrite. I tell them when I was in school, I didn't study. I was, you know, playful, but you don't have to be playful. You have to study. And I don't hide it. Sunday I had a PTA in straight through, and in the presence of all my parents, my husband was there. I said, I've never been first in class. I've never received a prize. I am not that kind of parent who will tell you, I was first in class, I took prizes, you have to be. No, I accept you the way you are, because that is how God made you. The person who is first in class, he didn't make his brains. It is God who gave him that brain, or her that brains. So whether you are intelligent or not, whether you are beautiful or not, I didn't make myself. So if you tell me that I'm beautiful, I just thank God because I didn't make myself.
True.
So I accept people the way they are. And so I expect people to accept you the way you are. So if you try not to accept me the way I am and you want to impose things on me, you won't have me easy.
Okay.
That one day you will not have me easy.
So you're tough, but you are also meek. You're a lady, but you have the heart of a man.
I have
Is
the
that
heart of a man.
accurate? Let's trace your career trajectory before politics. So you had a school, which means you didn't work for anyone.
No.
Did you work? Were you employed
No.
at some point?
No.
Okay, so you just ran the school, and what else did you do in terms of profession before politics?
I did catering. I can cater. I can do my birthdays. Everything I do, I plan myself. Sometimes from the cooking to the decor, I'll supervise. I'm a party girl. Almost every year, I'll have like 3-4 parties. My last birthday should have been here.
Please
I
invite me next
organize
time.
everything. And I mean everything. And sometimes my guests are seated and I'm in the kitchen, making sure that the food is served the way I want it. The garnishing is the way I want it. And my friends would be like, come and sit down. Anybody who is watching and knows me knows I don't sit.
Okay.
Even when I'm having my own birthday, I want to
Okay.
make sure that things are done properly. Then at the end of the day, I can relax. So I did catering, I ran a school, I do business, I sell. But you know what? Growing up, any business I do, when I sell, they buy and they don't pay. And they are my friends, so I can't, so I've stopped. But I've done so many things in life.
Okay. So what about your life? What about the environment? They say we are a product of our environment and, you know, experiences. What about your life influenced you to make the decision to venture into politics?
Let me tell people who are listening, especially my young ladies, they are the people I'm going to deal with, you know, moving forward. When I was growing up, I lived with my mother, who worked at the Standard Chartered Bank. She was among the first female accountants in the bank. And then 83, when there was so much hunger, she retired, and then she bought us the Dansoman house where we lived and grew up in, because we used to live in people's houses. She finally said, I have to put my girls in a home, put up a wall around us and made sure that we were okay. And then growing up, because my mother goes to the office and come, I had friends. I have a lot of friends.
Okay.
I go to my friend's house. I see the setup. I love it. But that is not what I have at home. So I tell myself, when I grow up, I want to be like this. And then I have my godmother, Mrs. Florence Last, Martin de Pori School.
Yeah.
She just turned 92.
Okay.
It was beautiful. And if you are taking pictures, I'll give you her birthday picture.
Okay.
And when I vacate, I would go to her. At that time, there were a few women driving. And Mrs. Last was driving, is it a Mazda, some brown car? And I remember very well. And she was so fashionable, and she is still fashionable. And Mommy, thank you very much for everything. I go to her and help her, cook for her, clean the house, make sure, and she has a way of setting her house up. So growing up, nobody told me. I was just going to spend, I was going to spend vacations with her. Not because she has asked me to, but I decided to go there, grow up to be like her.
So she was sort of your role model?
My role model. She didn't know, and I am her favorite now, and her children know that I am Mommy's favorite now. And she doesn't even see me as a goddaughter, she sees me as her daughter. So you learn. So growing up, young ladies, you may come from a home where there's no microwave, but you go somewhere and there's a microwave, you aspire to be like that. So I learned from so many places. I told you, this house, you just stepped in and he said, I have a beautiful. I did everything here with my own hand. I picked the flower pot I wanted, I planted, you know, because I haven't been here for some time, all my plants are gone. And very soon when it starts raining, my plants are going to, I did everything you see here. I said, put this thing here, put that. So you have to learn. And it's not everything that you hire people to do.
Right.
And these days, young girls, they want to have I have a gardener because it's a big house, but they want to have a gardener, they have to have a cook, they come from where they are, you don't do that. You don't do that. You have to do things with your hands. And this afternoon, I just finished preparing my wache and my shito and whatever because my boy wanted wache. I've done my wache.
But what if you can afford to get help? I mean, it's the 21st century after all.
I know. I still have people. You saw a woman pass by.
Yeah.
She takes care of my house, but she doesn't cook for me. Okay. I do my own cooking. I can't let her cook for my husband.
Well,
it won't work.
Yeah.
Even for myself. The only thing I can let her do for me is the local album. Even that one, I'll have to correct the final one. So girls, we
Okay,
should
let's get
learn
into
to
politics,
be
yeah.
mothers and run a home.
Okay.
We don't expect to get your people do. I was watching a movie today. We have only 1 hour, and now you know the movies we watch. There are things that happen at home. I haven't said don't get somebody to help you, but things you can do for yourself. I'm telling you, your children will admire you, your husband will admire you. So when you are tired and you ask for help, nobody will say you're a lazy woman.
True.
But the young girls of today, they want everything to be done for them. When you go to America, will you get a maid?
Why would I?
Will you get a gardener?
I don't.
You
well,
won't.
if I
You
live in
can't
a huge
afford.
house
You
and I
can't
can
afford when
it.
you start life. So let's start and move
Yeah.
on.
Right.
You understand?
But I was wondering what about your life, influenced you or gave you the confidence that you should venture into politics? Because it's not, I don't think the numbers will tell you that there are more men in politics than women, not just in Ghana, it's global. So for a young woman or for a woman who's established, who wasn't employed, you set up your businesses, what would make you want to enter politics? What happened?
I just love politics. I'm a politician. It's in my genes. I just love politics. I can argue with you. I can argue on point and say that MPP is wrong. And I'll argue and argue and again. At the tail end of it, I can tell you the right thing that we did. While I'm arguing with you, think, why have you left MPP? Or why have you left politics? No. I want the right thing to be done. That is why we are there to serve the people.
Okay, so how did you start? Where did you start
I
from?
started off in Dansoman when we were growing up. After secondary school, we used to work for Amele Tego.
Okay.
Auntie Theresa Amele Tego. I don't know whether you know her.
No, I've
She's
heard
a
the
former
name.
member. She's passed on.
Okay.
Tina Mensah and I, Honorable Tina Mensah.
Yeah.
She's my classmate, and we lived around the same neighborhood. And Amele was like our role model, you know. And Tina was the girls going out. My mother didn't want me to do the politics, so when Honorable Amele Tego has an order or program, I'll do the cooking. The son's birthday, I'll do the cooking and thing. So we started with her. The first place I wanted even to contest was Dansoman after she died.
Okay.
But Tina had already contested and she was interested in it. So I said, once my friend and sister is
You can't go
interested,
against
I
her.
will not go. Then Esla came. So we went to campaign for her. So whilst I was contesting in Swedru, Esla was contesting in Dansoman. So I used to go there and do campaign for. I knew the people who were contesting with her because I lived in Dansoman. I knew every corner in Dansoman. So I contested in Swedru, but I lost my first primaries.
Yes.
Yes, I lost my first primaries, and then, but we lost the general election. So it was like an orphan constituency. So I had to run the constituency as if we had a sitting MP. Then I went for the regional woman organizer. So I won my regional woman organizer. And so whilst I was working as a regional woman organizer, I was working in Australia because we wanted to take the seat back. Okay. So I worked along, and then the MP then was Honorable Obinkum.
I don't know.
You don't know him. Or no, he came for one term, and it was a fierce battle. Okay. You would even, when you get to, you even think it was Cynthia Morrison was the MP when there was an MP.
You
so I worked
tough.
and won the primaries, and then I went on to win the general election. But politics, like you said, you see, me, there's one thing with me. When you say things negative about me, I hardly respond. I hardly respond because I think I don't have to give you attention. But sometimes too, it's good to respond early because there are people who are so gullible. They will listen to what they hear and they will keep it. And me, I know once it is not true, I know one day, even if it takes 10, 20 years, the truth will come out. And so I was that person. So I hear so many negative things. And the things they say, sometimes I ask, is it me that they are talking about? But they have said it and people are believing.
And I noticed that most women in politics, and I've had a conversation with a lot of women on this program, and they'll tell you that the rules are different for them as women politicians, especially members of parliament. They tell you that it's not the same game for the men like for the women.
Yeah.
And you already said that you're just a person who won't let men bully her, or men won't bully you. So was it any different? The strategy you're applying to your regular life as a woman who was going about your business and enterprise and school, in Parliament and as a gender minister, did you face any peculiar issues that only women in politics face? I remember Jifa Gomashi saying it's a very murky game. I remember former information minister saying that I think the most difficult part is financing campaigns. They've all shared their own challenges. What has been yours?
Fortunately, I had a supporting husband.
I
had a very supporting husband because most of the things I do is him. I want to go and do this, you know, it's him. Most of the things I do is him. And I run a school. And even though school is for profit, I realize that I make money from Swedru. So when I put back some of the money I've made from Swedru in my school into the constituency, you know, it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
change
nothing.
anything.
Yeah.
And I am not a money person. I tell my children, one day you just die and leave everything that you have behind. So why do you have to grab everything? You know, I am not that person. So when I'm spending money, I don't think about it so much. Unless, of course, but spending money like buying clothing and jewelry and things, I'm stingy. Because when I buy an expensive dress, what is it about?
I hardly hear people call themselves stingy.
Me,
Like-
my children, my husband, when I go to a shop, I buy by tag. I get into the shop, I pick a dress. This is beautiful. Even your husband will say, oh, this is nice, pick it up.
Then you
Then I
check
look at the price.
990s.
Hey, no.
No.
I'm talking about dollars. And I hardly buy things. Hey, that time to Ghana. Then he's like, I will times the money and I will not buy. Sometimes I'll pick it. We get there and I put it aside. I don't want this, I want that. That is me.
Okay.
So, but whatever I wear, no matter how cheap it is, people will tell you are looking good. So I am into that. So at least you get some money to do certain things. And I've adopted so many children in straight rule. I love to do that. To take care of somebody, they grow up and they go to their family to help them. So that is my nature.
Okay.
Yes.
And you also, you know, I can call you a gender advocate because during your time as Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, we saw a lot of initiatives geared towards, you know, changing the narrative, making women, giving them a place, really. Do you think that the work you left behind has progressed from where you left it? Or what? Let's start from here. What would be your general assessment of how women are doing right now in terms of our fight for equity?
I think we are not doing very well, especially the bullying. A lot of men would not want their wives to go into politics because of the insults. You be called a prostitute.
Why do they do that?
You be called an evil person because you are tough and strong. Why should you do that?
And it's the men, isn't it?
It's the men, and it's so cheap.
Yeah.
It's so cheap. It's so funny. It's not. It's not nice. You know. So when your children can even tell you, "Mommy, why are you doing this?" Because maybe they read something on the internet. But the good thing is that when your husband and your children, your family, they believe in you, they see everything else that people are saying as rubbish.
Sure.
But what if your husband is insecure? And you are doing the right thing. You want to do good things for people, society. But because of the stigmatization, you decide not to do it. To coil. May I never coil. I will not. I went for independence until the electorate said no. Today as I sit here, 2 people have called me, Honorable, we don't understand why you left. We want you back.
We will get there. We'll get to the politics and the NPP.
And so when it comes to women, I think they are good people. I don't think we are going to get 50-50.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't have to flatter anybody.
That doesn't give me hope. I thought that's what we're working toward. We have the affirmative action law passed, bill passed into law. Although there are some challenges in terms of how we're actually implementing. President Mahama expects about 23% of women, in his ministers, or should I say, in his government. And you don't think we'll get to 50?
It will take a while. We shouldn't flatter ourselves. It will take a while.
Why?
Because a lot of women are not. Look, Shamima. I told her once, why don't you enter into... Hey, no. I've told Efia Pokua of all people, Vim Lady. Hey, no. I've told like 3, Efia Adum FM.
Ahwine, the big one?
No, not the big one.
Efia Mankwata Maklo, right?
No, Efia, is it Amankwata? Yes.
Yeah.
She lives at Adomi.
Yes, Amankwata
Safo's constituency.
Yeah.
You know, she looks like Adjoa Safo in a way.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some resemblance.
Okay.
I told her once that you look like Adjoa. In future, that time my Kokwe had not come. In future, when Adjoa exits, will you want to contest? Hey, Honorable me. So even you people that we see you as staff, you're not ready to contest because...
Oh, please, I'm not. I'm going to go into politics.
That's good. I would mentor you to do that.
Thank you.
I will. You see, a lot of women are afraid because of the name calling.
Is it just that, or we're just not...
Look, it is that.
We don't want to stress, you know?
That is part of the stress. Financial stress. You're a beautiful woman. When somebody knows they're going to do well and financially you are not okay, they can support you. There are men who are ready to support women.
For free?
Oh, sometimes for free. Sometimes for free. Going this independent, I got somebody who called me. I've forgotten about him. He called me. He said, I hear you're going for independent. Blah, blah, blah. I said, yes. He said, oh, that's nice. Where do you live? I said, I live at Ajinga. Oh, my office is close by. Anytime you are going past there. And I said, I'm coming to Accra the next day. So come and let's talk. He gave me 100,000. He is not my, you know what, when I got to the office, he was somebody I had done good for long ago. And he's looking for me and he doesn't know I'm the same person. So when I got there, I mentioned his name. Then he's like,
Yeah.
so we're talking. But when I mentioned the name, he thought maybe he mentioned the name to me. So whilst we were talking, then he's like, I said something. He said, I've been looking for you. You see, because I had done him a very good favor, not in the ministry, but I'd done him a good favor. People are ready to help women grow. I haven't said men will give you money. Some women can give you money. It's not only men who give money. Some women.
In your experience, have you had women give you money, give you support?
People don't even give me money. Even Kennedy Japan, who is supposed to be my brother, and I've suffered for him. I say, hey, it's mommy ska oja, and he will tell everybody around where I'm sure when he watches, he will laugh. When he will never give me. But people thought he was sponsoring me to do my independent. He never. I'm saying it on national television. Never. Kennedy, me come on, what's in what Breviska? Never.
Okay, we have to take a break, and when we return, we'll get into politics proper. Some policies, we'll talk about the current administration, the erstwhile, you moving from the NPP and going independent, all coming up on Women Power Politics right after this break. Don't go away.
I congratulate you and commend you on your bold initiative to improve the lives of the women.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying. Women Power Politics with me, Sweetie Abochi, and my guest today is Madam Cynthia Morrison, former Member of Parliament, Babuna West, former Minister for Children, Gender, Children and Social Protection. Let's talk about politics now. So what made you decide to break away from the NPP? Nobody saw that coming, except you maybe. What happened?
Yes, except maybe the people around me didn't know. My husband even didn't think I was going to do that. Hey, I'm speaking. I'm not going to say everything. I'll say something.
But it's tougher,
yeah. I don't want to be cheated. Even when I'm walking down the street and I see you hit your child, even whether I know you or not, I'll confront you. I don't like people cheating on people. In politics, we have a network. You have people around you and people on the other side. The person who contested me was like my son. I didn't have a problem with it. Somebody say your son has contested and so what. That I didn't
know he was going to contest.
No, I didn't know.
He sprung it on you.
He'll be on air telling people it's my husband that asked him to go. At least it means bringing you. He knows how close I am with my husband. But me, even if you come and tell me that you saw my husband with a girl, I will not leave him. I would not leave him.
Even if you go and see
even if I go and see him on a lady, I will just pick him up and we come home. Oh yes, I'm telling you, I'm on national television because I don't know, from there I don't know the next man I'm going to meet. He can be worse than my husband. So whatever you have, you polish it. So if you bring my husband into politics, that my husband said you should contest, whilst I'm contesting, then it means you want to bring confusion in my home. He comes to my home and he knows my children, he knows everything about me. Then the night before the election, a guy came, they say a pastor came to my constituency to meet the delegates and to do some enchantment. The people were saying some pastors come to do some humorous thing. I didn't even take it serious. We went for the election. That morning, before I left my house, at the junction there was a pot of blood with crow, skeleton of the crow and feathers and everything. I didn't take it very serious. We went for the election, I lost. We came home. That day I came to eat my fufu and palm nut soup. Because that was what they prepared.
Did that shake you a bit?
No, not particularly. No, it's elections. It didn't shake me, seriously.
The pot of blood
the
did
pot
not
of blood,
shake you?
it didn't shake me. I looked at, I have God. And so when I saw it, I'm like, come on, we all, people left. Because that was the entrance for my home.
Where do you think it came from?
I'm coming. I haven't seen who it is yet.
Okay.
So we left and then we went for the election. We came home, we came to eat. I came to Accra and everything. And my daughter was going to have her first son. Okay. So I had to go to the States and make sure that I was in the hospital when the baby arrives and everything. So I was all excited about it. So the election cried because, you know what? After the primaries, I was going to go to the States, spend time. The baby was coming in June. So I'll take care of the baby. I was there in May. June, the baby will come. July, my daughter's birthday, I have to take care of the baby. July, August, September, election is in December. So I was even contemplating, how would I do the campaign? You know, so strategically, I was thinking about so many things. So my delegates, when I was giving them money, I told them, this money is not for you. You have to spend it in your area, work with it in your neighbor, because I knew I was going to travel for some time. So I was planning. So when it happened, I'm like, my daughter even called, Mommy, now I'll have you all to myself. And I came home, everybody was happy.
Right.
Then somebody called me one day and said, watch the television. There's this pastor on the television. Some can't say me could to Cynthia Morrison, no. Omo can't say me could to Cynthia Morrison, no. Me call ya Jemmy Newman, and I me go to no. Then I called the pastor. Then he's like,
you knew him?
I didn't know him. The number was on the screen. So whoever it is called me and gave me the number. Then I went on the, is it?
The live stream?
The live stream and saw his number and the video and everything. Then I called him. Then it's like, send me the Sumami. And he works for, oh, Charlie, I almost mentioned their name. 2 names who are in my party. Then I said, really? And you know what? After the election, when I was leaving to go home, I hear they hooted at me. I didn't see it. When I say I hear,
yeah, I think I heard you
hooted
say
at me. They were sweeping and everything. You sweep Cynthia Morrison out of Aguna West. I'm telling you.
What did you do to the people of Aguna? You must have done something.
I am. No, you are sitting out. No, I'm not swearing. I don't. I wouldn't even swear for you. I won't swear for my husband. Let him know. I say I'm sitting right, looking up in the skies. If I say I have done something, I don't know.
Wow.
All the things that happen on television, they pay them to do it. And they come to confess. I have their videos.
And you're saying from members of the NPP. Some sort of mutiny here. Why would your own party want you out?
I was part of Ken Must Go. I was the only lady in Ken Must Go. So they planned this.
Just for your, for you to know Kennedy, not Kennedy Japan, the finance minister.
And then I supported Kennedy Japan. Because openly, me, I am not a hypocrite. Dr. Baumia is my friend. He comes to my house. I go to his house. When there's a party for the people with leprosy, I go there and serve with him. His birthday, I went out to the children's home to do the party for the kids. But you can't push me to do something. We all said we want to win 2024. If we want to win 2024, then we should not all go and follow one person. Even if we all want to follow one person, we shouldn't make it open. We can do it behind the scenes. We can lobby behind the scenes without anybody getting to know what we want to do. And follow that person. Kennedy Japan, in Central Region. He is like our pillar. Me, I fight him. When he says something on air, you can ask him. I call him and I fight him. I think I can say I am one of the women that can look into his eyes and tell him, he is my brother.
But that thing you just said about not doing it in public, that's why people don't trust politicians, you see? Because you're saying that even if we all decide to support one person, we shouldn't do it openly. Which means that you play cards.
No, it's not a matter of cards, no. We are going for election. All of us here, if you are going for election, and we know that you are the one who can win for us. We all want to support you. But he still says, I want to go. We are part of the team. Do we all make him angry? Do we all make it look like we are all supporting? We haven't even had the election. We can do this thing simply.
Okay.
That is why look, I went to President Kufuor, we talked and I asked, why do we do things like this? He said democracy. I said, fine. But democracy, we can do it in a way that will not offend somebody. So when we finish doing that, how do you expect to go and call the person that openly we campaigned against to come and help us? If we don't do that and he goes and he loses, he will know that I have lost. I'll wait and bid my time.
In December 2024, I read an article that you and about 288 people were sacked from the NPP.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
No,
how can you sack me? How can my constituency chairman sack me from them?
But they did.
MPP.
It's all over the internet.
Cynthia Morrison. No. Even next week, I'm doing a program for MPP in my constituency.
So you and the party are in good terms?
Didn't you see me in Parliament? When Afenyomakin said I was part of MPP, they went to court. And the court said I was part of MPP.
So that's not just for showbiz?
Even if it's for showbiz, that's what I know. That is what they've proclaimed to the whole world. So I am still part of MPP.
Okay.
Next week, I'm doing a program with my MPP flag and everything in the constituency.
So you are very much part of the
I am
MPP
MPP.
party.
Nobody has sacked me.
Okay, on that note, let's talk about current affairs. It means that you are, in a way, associated with the opposition. If you are part of the NPP, you are in opposition. Part of the opposition.
But are we not in opposition?
Well, you are not actively in parliament or in... Okay,
oh my goodness.
So what would you say? How would you assess this 2 months or so of President Mohammed's administration? They did boot out your government last December 2024. So how is he doing?
I haven't watched much. Yesterday I watched briefly. I was very busy. I watched till the tail end of it. I haven't watched the whole.
The Sona.
I haven't watched the whole Sona. I just watched part of it. It was early days yet.
Okay.
Me, I wish that my party will come to power 2028. That is what I wish for.
Do you see it happening?
For less than 100 days yet, you cannot talk about it. You see, there are certain statements that politicians make and it goes back to bite us.
Yeah.
And that one, I can say it when I meet my party people, I cannot say it in air.
Okay.
So there are so many things, and these are the things that I used to openly say, that you will not agree with me. And I used to go to Nanado, His Excellency, myself, and tell him, Mr. President, ABCD will hurt us. ABCD will help us, whether you believe or not. I've said it on national television. I tell him.
And he didn't listen.
I don't know whether he listened or not.
There was a report from KNUST, Department of History and Science or something. They did their own research, trying to understand what accounted for that drastic loss you suffered, the NPP, I mean. And they say because of the single-minded decision-making of former President
That I don't know about it. That is what somebody has said.
They gave a number of things, but you just said that he doesn't.
He
didn't listen
look,
to
I
the
went
things
to the. I want because look, I'm not getting access to him. I know he watched this one, and I cannot never lie. I joined. I became an MP because of Nanado, because I wanted us to win the seat back. So I put in my all to win for him to win, so that we'll come to power. When he lost the last time, I wept like a baby.
Oh.
So, and at that time, I wept like a baby because I knew he was going to win. Because the people had said so many evil things about him. And I didn't know him that evil. So I just wanted him to win. So I was part of his team who worked for him to win. Not work for him to get anything. I've never been to him to ask him for a motorbike, not even a bicycle. He will tell you, I've never.
Do you think we misjudged him? Do you think Ghanaians misjudged Nekufado?
I didn't know him growing up.
No, but
I only knew him as a president. And when I knew him, I'm saying this on national television, when I knew him, it was like the negatives that people said about him. So I was able to tell him, somebody said A, B, C, D, prove people wrong before he became a president. So I could go to him, I could go to Honorable Framer's house. Honorable, that time, Mommy, Matisse say, she'll put it down in her brown diary. And even before we finish talking, she'll call the driver, so she'll put everything down. So I was, part of the grooming behind the scenes for him to come to power. Because I just liked him. And Mama Becky was like my big sister. She's not my mother. She's like my big sister. So I used to go there. This is wrong. Let's do it this. This is wrong. Let's do that. So for me, and I even went to His Excellency with Moses Fuamoni. You know Moses? He's so many things he went to tell them. And this is what we want to do. And I didn't see it coming. So if I don't see it coming, and Ken must go, I want to tell you and I'm not getting you. I'll say it outside. And if because of that you bully me, there's no way. So when I saw the video of them hooting at me, I saw the Osofu said they sent him to come and unseat me. I said, really? I would contest as an independent. If you want me out, I will be in. So that one, I wanted them to come inside. So I told them I want to sit with them, not Afenyomakin. Afenyomakin, the end there, I want the big people to come for us to sit and talk. Look, it's not everybody that you can bully.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Okay.
If you want, you don't even want me to contest, you can tell me, Cynthia, we think you're unpopular on the ground because my guy who's, I said, is my son. Go to the market, give them money. You know, women, give a few women money, say that Mrs. Morrison is unpopular, we don't want her. And they did all that across board. So when I saw that, I said, really? If you can do that to me, I picked you, gave you a job, lived with you as a son, And you can do that to me. You do things I won't talk.
Okay,
but
so
my actions will talk for me.
On Mahama, you're saying early days yet. But there are
Don't go Mahama. I'm not going to answer Mahama. Well, you saw that I
no,
was moving out, so you are bringing me in.
I see what you are doing, but we have to get some points from you. So I mean, yes, early days, yes, because they're just very. I mean, I think we should stop giving them that honeymoon period because
no, it's not a matter of honeymoon.
You know, when we had former President Akufo-Addo, Ghanaians were excited. Around this time in his first tenure, we were hailing some of the things he was saying, like, by the end of my tenure, Accra will be the cleanest city in Africa or in the world. He'll put his presidency on the line, one district, one factory. And it looks like that's the same thing that we are doing right now. We are hailing Mahama. Oh, he's done this. Oh, he's, stopping Galamsey.
He hasn't stopped Galamsey.
Well, he's deployed, he's directed some ministries to take action. We've seen the EPA clamping down on these illegal miners, seizing excavators. They are doing something, although the demands that were made have not actually been met. They wanted a declaration of state of emergency. They wanted to halt all mining. All that has not been done yet. But I guess the question I'm saying, I want you to do some sort of comparative analysis for me. Akufo-Addo's initial, days in office, in his first term, we saw the Messiah and all the promises and waxing lyrical about how he's going to transform the economy, right? Mahama's early days yet, he's saying so many things. He won't cancel free SHS. The economy is so bad. What we inherited is terrible and blah, blah, blah. What do you see? Do you see a man committed to resetting the country like he said? Or are we just getting a replay of the first few days in office of a new president and what the rhetoric is?
A few disappointments that I have is those that they are laying off.
The revocations.
That is something that I am not happy about. Even though I haven't put anybody there to be laid off. I don't have anybody there that I have pushed in there for me to say that I'm sad. You see, this is a country that if we get a government who fails, the next one comes and the other one wants that one to fail, it's going to affect you and I. Yeah. It's going to affect you and I. So I don't wish for anybody to fail. I know that even when he does things, a lot of people did not vote. That one I know. Even in my constituency, a lot of people did not vote. And the next person who is going to come for MPP is not Nana Addo. If he said Nana Addo has failed, it doesn't mean MPP in totality would fail Ghana. Same way she said John Mahama has failed. It doesn't mean, and we should have hope in Ghana. Because nobody is going to do it for us from outside. So we shouldn't wish for the failure of somebody. But the only thing I know is that there are a lot of people who did not vote, have regretted not voting. That one I can tell you. Okay. A lot of people who were angry and they said A, B, C, D, were not going to vote.
I just want to bring you back for the sake of time. What exactly is your point of disappointment? Because from the argument in fact, I'm listening to Felix Wachifosu and some other members of the government, and they say these revocations are apt because you don't recruit and appoint people in your last few days in office and let the next administration carry the financial burden of that. Plus, there are due processes. If you don't have financial clearance, you know how it is to get employment in the public service. It goes through some processes. And so the revocation is so that the processes can be done again and right this time, so that people who are actually qualified can get it.
I pray to God it will be like that. Because I know people who are already in the system who have been asked to go home. Oh, I pray that they will do exactly what they're saying. Because, look, things are not easy. If you don't work, you know you don't have a job. But you are in a job and you know at least you can pay your children's school fees, you can put food on the table, and you're asked to go home. It's not a good thing. So that is where my disappointment is in. When they do the right thing, I know Ghanaians will applaud them if they do the wrong thing, but I'm looking at the ordinary person. Assuming you just get to your office and your boss says, no, I think we are too many here, so go home. How would you feel? That is where I'm coming from. I'm not, not that I can't criticize them. I'll criticize them when I have to criticize them. But for now, if I don't have Do I just put sir because I am an MPP person?
Yeah.
No, that is not what I do. But I pray that Ghana will move forward. And I pray that we'll put systems in place that the next administration will follow. It wouldn't be our manifesto.
Do you think Baumia would get the nod again to lead the party?
I didn't follow him the first time. So why are you pushing me to say something the second time?
I just asked you to make a guess.
You know what? We are in the field. We are looking at why we lost. So I don't want to say anything now.
All right. Let's be winding down on the conversation. I'm curious to know, we started by talking about women issues and you said we are not doing very well. Yes, we have passed the affirmative action law, but what do you think?
What is it?
To encourage equal participation of women in governance.
I was part of the
leadership.
people who were drafting affirmative action.
But
how do we get if we have like 80% men in parliament, right? How do you get them out for 30% women to go and join to be 50-50? How do you do that?
So the
it's not enshrined.
The question I wanted to ask was,
what are the gaps in the implementation? How do you get somebody out?
Yeah, so what you educators, because you were core part of that team, what are the gaps that we should be looking to fill?
If we want to start, where women are standing, we should let women contest them. So whether, at least we'll maintain what we have. We'll maintain what we have now.
Is that doable?
It should be doable.
We should let women contest.
Pardon?
Why women are standing, you should let women contest. That's what I said.
So even if an MPP person goes out, a woman goes out, it's an NDC woman who would come. We are not looking at 50% for MPP, 50% for NDC. We are looking at the whole chamber. If we can get, like, say, even 40%. And if we want to do that, we should let the status quo stay. Those there, the number should be maintained. How can it be maintained? It can only be maintained if a woman is contesting a woman. So woman go, woman comes. Then it means we are making progress. You understand? And definitely you get women to contest women in every constituency. And then some women can go and start fighting for, I took over from a man. So it means a woman can take over from a man. So where there are men, and MPP knows that this is our stronghold. If we put a woman, we can still win. The party can sponsor a woman to win.
So that responsibility should be put on the parties?
On the parties. On the parties, both sides. Simple. Then at least we know we have that number out sitting. Nobody touches it. In Kenya and other countries, they do same. So we have a certain number sitting that nobody is touching. Then we'll go and look for more to come and fill in the space so that at least gradually we would move there. And so even if a man knows that a woman is going to contest me and they are coming to support that woman, that man will not even stress himself, you understand? Especially when he knows that his popularity is going down or something. So we cannot just sit and say affirmative action. So how do you get it?
Okay. Last question, and then I'll ask you about how you balance all your everything, all the elements in your life. So looks like the NPP MPs are saying that the state of the nation, NPP MPs.
MPs, yeah.
Yeah, your people.
My people.
They're saying that the state of the nation address that Mahama gave is full of lamentations. And even before he even went to parliament to give the address, they were cautioning him to make sure that whatever his speech reflects the true state of the nation. Remember, we began this year with former President Akufo-Addo saying that they're leaving behind a Ghana that is strong, economy is growing. And then now President Mahama is saying that's not the true reflection of the status quo. Quick reflection on this. Who's telling the truth? You were in power in last administration. Did you really leave behind a government that is thriving?
Getting to the tail end of it, I wasn't very, very active in parliament and everything. But I heard the President's State of the Nation, I was there. He talked about education, and I'm sure the numbers that he gave, later we heard, I'm sure,
he said
finance made it for the
3.1 million.
Yes. And Mahama is saying that things are not. But I believe that in politics, whatever we say will come back to haunt us. Whether we speak the truth or not, it will come back to haunt us. I know that we left a buffer. I know that we left money for payment because Mahama just started. So where is he getting money to do, pay off certain things? And we don't need that. What we need is that we should move forward. That is what we need as a nation, that we move forward, that we do things right. That is all we need. Okay. When you inherit, you have an uncle, you think your uncle is very rich. He dies, you do everything, the funeral, you take over, you go and take for loan, thinking that you are coming to inherit something. You go to the bank and it's bankrupt, what do?
You know, I have such a problem with the way we, not you, but even yesterday, President said it, inherit a country. It's almost
no.
It sounds
I
as
moved.
if,
Yes,
it sounds as if we
you
are
own
lost
it.
Yeah, and that's what.
That is what it is. We've given every power to him, so he owns it.
We should try and move away from saying stuff like that.
That is what it is. You give him all the powers.
Yeah.
So what has he done?
Well,
if we can take off some of the
review.
review should take some of the, especially like the job recruitment and things, should be handled by an entity that is not a government. So say that once my government is in party, I have to get this job, I have to do this. Even if somebody is there and there's no mistake, people can just, you know, plant. Sometimes they will not even sack you like this. You'll be there, somebody will do something and you will sign without knowing, and then you are off.
Then you're in trouble.
You're in trouble just because
what do you want
to
be remembered for?
When
you hear, when we hear
when I die.
No, when you die.
Us for dying, we all die one day.
Well, no one is getting out alive. But what do you want to be remembered? What's the legacy of Cynthia Morrison?
Oh, that woman with a good heart. That is all. My mother, before she died, on my birthday, like same as I did the other day, told my people that came that my daughter is good to a fault. Because sometimes I'm doing things, don't do it, I'll do it. And then the person disappoints me, say, we told you so, but I've done it. I'm glad that I did it. That is me. If I have, I'll tell you I have. If I don't have, I don't have. And I speak the truth. And I say it as it is. You understand? I say it as it is. I don't mince words. So if you don't like me for that.
I'm because that's me.
I say it as it is. Yes. And I want my children to tell me as it is. They bring their work, I look at it. I say, hey, you've done well. When I was in school, I didn't get this mark. But I think you could have done better.
Yeah.
He said, Mommy, I said it's true. They will tell you. I tell them the truth. So when you do that and your child is at fault and you correct the child, you take it. But if you are the goody, I'm not a very good. I am Cynthia Morrison. But I love the aged and I love children. That is me.
Last question, I mean it this time. How do you keep it all together? You're balancing family, and family not just like one unit, so many layers of family. You're balancing businesses, you're balancing being an educationist, all of it. Recently, you just put pause on politics, but how do you stay afloat?
Sunday, I went to Sredu to do my first PT after politics and told them I'm going to take over my school and run my school. I come home, I can come from church or from party, I just get to the kitchen and they're hungry and I'm in my dress and I'm cooking. I start off the food, I go upstairs and change, come down and continue, lay the table, we eat, we go, you know, want to go out.
Always on the move?
Always on the move. When I'm finished, I say, Charlie, my back hurts, so then I go and
lie down.
That evening we have to do dinner or something. Or maybe we want to a tea dinner. And I want to do it myself. I'm used to doing it. I think at a point I have to pause.
Yeah.
I am used to doing it. When I cook with my hands, I'm like, wow, I've done something. So that is me. I want to make sure that my house is kept well, my house looks fine, you know. It's my nature. And I want to do things. Very soon it's going to rain. Come and see my garden. I have a vegetable garden there. I have everything, you know. So it's my life.
Okay. This isn't a question. The whole point of this conversation is to encourage broader participation of women in leadership. So I'd like you to look into the camera and speak to especially the young women who will be listening to you right now. Just 2 points to take away.
Young women, I want you to be bold and assertive. I want you to do what you want to do. You seek advice, but you do what your heart tells you to do.
Cynthia Morrison, former Member of Parliament for Aguna West, former Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, was my guest today on Women Power Politics, and it's been an enlightening, like I like to say, riveting conversation. Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
for the time and for the knowledge.
Thank you too.
All right, till I see you again, I'm Sweetie Abochi, and this was Women Power Politics. Bye for now.
I congratulate you and commend you on your bold initiative to improve the lives of the women.